pitching around, still going. He's at the wall. He leaps, and he made the catch. Cody Bellinger, a robbery of Tatis.
And welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I'm your host, Doug McCain. And welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I'm your host, Doug McCain. Not sure what's going on here. There we go. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I'm your host, Doug McCain. Thanks for rocking with us here after the Dodgers lose Game 1 of the NLCS by a score of 5-1. And the Dodgers just didn't get it done tonight with the bats. The Dodger offense was cold all night long. This Dodgers offense struggled. They go 4 for 31 on the night, 11 strikeouts for this Dodgers offense, and a nightmarish ninth inning there for your boys in blue. Blake Treinen comes in. He gives up the big home run. Then Jake McGee comes in, another home run. 4 runs there in the ninth inning for the Atlanta Braves. But, hey, the Dodgers, they're going to be fine. They're going to still win this series. I'm telling you right now, the Dodgers will still prevail in this series. 70% of the time, the winner of Game 1 wins the series. It's not going to be the case this time around. But here we go. I know you guys have a lot to say here. We're going to break down all of tonight's action. But you know how we get down here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Let me know where you represent Dodgers Nation from tonight. Give me those city zip codes. Let me know where you're suffering tonight's loss from here, and we'll break it all down because we got a lot to get into. And here we go. We got Treinen is dirt from Ryan. With today's loss, all pressure is on Kershaw, where we might lose again from Jesus. Dodger Ryan, it's only one game. Over on YouTube, same old BS from OB over there on Periscope. Steve DeGroff, the Dodgers better get some grit, balls and some nasty to them. So they'll be headed home again. Todd, Treinen, and McGee are the last two pitchers I'd use in a close game. We got Choker Nation from John. We got Braves in one from Train. We got this is really hard to watch over there from Nias. We got no reason to remove Gonzalez from Christian Lampoon. Yeah, Gonzalez comes in. He comes in there and he faces one hitter, and he doesn't come back. But clearly that's how they're trying to set it up here for the Dodgers. They want to have that rotation there, and they want to have it set up where you got Treinen to the closer, whether it be Kenley Jansen or Joe Kelly there. But Gonzalez comes in, faces one hitter, and comes out, gets out of the inning there, right there in that 8th inning. And it was a fantastic job there with by Victor Gonzalez, but he doesn't stay in the game. And unfortunately, Blake Treinen comes in, and it really was a nightmare there in the top of the 9th inning there. Riley, he gives up that home run right there to Riley, 448 feet off the bat there. He gave up just one home run all year, did Blake Treinen, in 25 2/3 innings pitched, but he gives up the bomb there, makes a mistake right there. He hits that fastball, and then Acuna doubles right down the left field line, and then Ozuna gets an RBI single, and the Braves take a 3-1 lead, and then McGee comes in, and he gives up that bomb right there. So 4 in the 9th there for the Atlanta Braves, and the Dodgers, they go quietly there in the 9th inning, and unfortunately the Dodgers, they're now behind. And look, what it came down to tonight is, bottom line, Fried pitched much better than Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler, I don't know if it's the blister for Walker Buehler, but he just loses command of that strike zone, does not paint the zone with strikes like he needs to, and too many walks, too many leadoff walks. He had 4 walks to lead off, 4 walks in 4 innings there, had a 1-2-3-5, and then came out, gave those 2 singles up there in the 6th inning. But bottom line, Walker Buehler did not pitch well enough despite giving up just 1 run. If you look at it that way, yes, the Braves, 2nd home run, 2nd in OPS. They have a potent offense, and you look at it and say, hey, if you can hold this Braves team to just 1 run in 5 innings, you got to feel good about that. But when it's against a hot pitcher like Max Fried, who was just pitching well all night long. 9 strikeouts tonight. He was landing that curveball, throwing it for strikes. The Dodgers were having issues hitting that slider, and also the plate discipline for the Dodgers tonight. It wasn't where we've seen it early on in this postseason, late in the year. The Dodgers swing at pitches outside the zone, and it looked like in the first inning there, the Dodgers had Fried on the ropes. They had him at 28 pitches. Justin Turner gets a hit in that first inning. It looked like it was just a matter of time before the Dodgers were going to get that knockout punch, but unfortunately that wasn't the case, and it really makes you wonder how about this Dodgers strategy. Yes, you want to try to work that pitch count up. You definitely want to try to get get to that bullpen, but this bullpen is strong, as we saw tonight for the Atlanta Braves. So to me, the key to this series is the pitching. The Dodgers got out-pitched tonight when it comes to starters. Brusdar Graterol came in there. I mean, really we should be singing his praises because Brusdar Graterol, he comes out there, and he just dominates in just 6 pitches. He comes in right there in the 6th, and first and second, no outs, gets Swanson to pop out on the first pitch, then strikes out, then gets a strikeout on 3 pitches, then gets Markakis on a comeback. He comes in with runners on first and second with no outs and puts the fire out in just 6 pitches. So he's clearly up to the challenge right here. But unfortunately, look, Blake Trinan, Jake McGee, those are 2 of Andrew Freeman's scrap heap pickups. Yes, you signed Blake Trinan on a 1-year deal for $10 million, but Jake McGee, his salary is being paid for by the Colorado Rockies this year for the most part. And fortunately, those 2 guys were not able to come through when the Dodgers needed it. And what it comes down to is the Dodger bats did not rise to the occasion like the Braves bats did. The Dodgers starting pitcher Walker Buehler, definitely not the worst start in the world, but 5 walks for Walker Buehler tonight. Yes, he had those 7 strikeouts. He doesn't strike out any less than 7 when he makes a start. But unfortunately, 5 innings from Walker Buehler. He comes out there in the 6th against the top of the Braves order and doesn't get it done. Puts the Dodgers behind the 8 ball there with runners on first and second. Yes, Brusdar did a remarkable job getting the Dodgers out of that inning. But bottom line, you can say everything you want about Dave Roberts. And yes, I think that it was possible that maybe Victor Gonzalez goes out there and faces another hitter. But look, Dustin May, he goes out there. He struggled with command tonight too. Dustin May hit batter. He goes an inning a third for Dustin May, and he gets pulled, and Victor Gonzalez saves the Dodgers in that inning. But look, the way you got to look at it is the Dodger bats did not show up. And if you want to blame that approach to Dave Roberts saying that the Dodger hitters were too aggressive or weren't aggressive enough. Bottom line is they had their bat-the-ball skills tonight. Only 4 hits for the Dodgers, and the only extra base hit right there was that home run by Kike Hernandez there in the 5th inning. So, look, Kike Hernandez, not even an everyday player for this Dodger team. He comes in there, gets the start, and provides the only punch for the Dodgers tonight. So, bottom line, hey, if this offense is not going to step up and score runs, then, hey, this is not going to be a long series because this is a hot pitching staff for the Atlanta Braves. Coming into today, 4 out of 5 games, they pitch shutouts. They're historically great when it comes to pitching shutouts, and it was the first time that had happened since the 1905 Giants. So, this team is no joke. We saw today what Fried was capable of, and you saw that Will Smith there, Martin, and look, their bullpen, they stepped up and they got the win. And look, I think, but yeah, let's jump in this comment section here, guys. Let's jump in here. Let's go rapid fire here. Let me know who deserves the blame for tonight's game. I'm going to read all your takes. I'll be here all night long. I want to know what you guys have to say because this is your show. Here we go. We got Andreas. Cold night for sure. I think it was snowing from Andreas. Jonathan. Yep, once again, dirty day for Mario Train. Braves versus the Rays World Series. Rays, Braves in 7. Sherilyn, we got to get them back tomorrow. Pitching needs extra practice. Better closers for the Dodgers from Denise. We got Gio Rivas. Dodgers going to do good tomorrow. We got Teresa. So much hating. We had to lose a game sooner or later. As long as we keep it 2 games in a row that we haven't done all season. Yeah, exactly. The Dodgers have not lost more than 2 games. They've not lost 3 games in a row all season. It's the first time the Dodgers had lost since September 23rd when they lost at home, a 6-4 loss against the Oakland Athletics. This team, look, they got punched in the mouth today. And hey, yes, you're going to fail if you're the Dodgers today, but you're going to persevere. And I have full faith in this Dodger team and this Dodgers offense based on what we've seen in this postseason. The Dodgers are averaging 6 runs per game in this postseason, OPSing 753, 7.8 strikeouts per game, 5.4 walks. You saw today the walks weren't there and the strikeouts were way, way up. 11 Ks for Dodger batters today, and they were missing pitches. There were opportunities there to score runs, but the Dodgers tonight 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. And when I say 0 for 2, I mean only 2 opportunities all night long with runners in scoring position. This offense was anemic tonight. It was ice cold, and they need to step up because this Braves pitching staff is hot right now, and this offense is potent enough to score runs. They've got power at the plate. You got guys like Freeman who gets them on the board early when they strike first. So, look, this is not going to be an easy series, but I do think the Dodgers, they needed a punch in the mouth. And that's exactly what they got today. They took one to the jaw, and I think the Dodgers say, hey, okay, we're not as hot as we thought we were. The Padres were not the best team in the National League, especially when Lamet and Clevenger weren't pitching. Clevenger, of course, only pitched an inning or so, but the Padres weren't the best team in the National League. It was the Atlanta Braves that were the best team in the National League. But the good thing for the Dodgers is it's a 7-game series. It's just one game in a 7-game series. And yes, if you look at the numbers, the winner of Game 1 goes on to win the series 70% of the time. But I'm telling you right here, right now, the Dodgers will go get past the Braves, and I think tonight there were some good moments, especially with Victor Gonzalez, with Brusdar Graterol, Walker Buehler, this tightrope that he's walking right there, this high wire act where he's having to get himself out of innings, and it's nothing short of remarkable. It's spectacular that he's able to do it, but he really puts himself in tough spots. He works that pitch count up, and really the pitch count is Walker Buehler's worst enemy right now. And I think that, look, falling behind early kind of hurt the Dodgers offense. But here we go, back into the comments. Where's Salty Dave from Twitch? We got Andy Martinez, Will Smith, Hitties the entire postseason except for one game. Jesse, from a Dodgers fan, good job, but all my Dodgers are taking it in 7. Hugo, we will win this series 4-2. Jonathan Robies, Dodger bats better wake up tomorrow. Mookie better go in the locker room and say we are the better team, and let's show them. Dodgers 2020. 51-50 Rams. 51-50 Rams right there. We got we got 51-50 Rams. Somebody $350 million regular season player, perfect October player for the Dodgers equals unclutch. You're gonna base Mookie's performance by one game. I mean, come on, like Mookie Betts. Who had a good night for the Dodgers tonight? It was AJ Pollock goes 1 for 3. Kike had a home run. He goes 1 for 3. Justin Turner had that single. Corey Seager, he had that single. Mookie Betts, he goes 0 for 4. But Mookie Betts, he's gonna be just fine. I think he'll ultimately step up and probably be in the mix for MVP of the series when it's all said and done. But yeah, I mean, I think look. Of course, yes. This is the Dodgers Nation postgame show. I'm in the business of overreacting here, but I do think the Dodgers. Look, like I said, when you've gone that long without losing a game, it almost reminds me of the 2001 Lakers. They ran the table, lose Game 1 to Allen Iverson, the Sixers in Game 1, and then it wakes them up, and they come in, they take care of business, and they dominate their way the rest of the series. Now, Mookie Betts hitting .304, OPSing .892 after tonight's game. So to say that he's not delivering in the postseason, it was really, if you're going to pick an MVP in the NLDS, either him or Cody Bellinger. So I think it's premature to really assess any player's performances after Game 1. We'll see how it is, and we'll have plenty of time to evaluate that. But here we go. We got Jason Smith. I am a Red Sox fan from Real Lukey. We got Buehler's finger is bothering him. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to completely tell us how his finger is performing, but he's clearly not the same pitcher right now. As far as we've seen with postseason in the past, yes, the strikeouts are still there. 18 swings and misses for Walker Buehler, but also, look, he just was not finishing off hitters tonight. Too many deep counts, too many full counts. They fouled off. I think they fouled off 17 pitches tonight. So, look, they got that pitch count up there on Walker Buehler, and unfortunately, it just wasn't his night, and he only gave up 1 run in 5 innings, but it wasn't the dominating performance that you expect to see from Walker Buehler. And like I said, he's like, if a cat has 9 lives, he's only got a couple lives left in this when he's doing this high wire act and getting himself into tough situations. But here we go. Let's see. We got Max Muncy is trash from Jonathan Robles. We going to be okay from Gio. We got 51-50 0 for 4, $350 million. From Rams. We got Brian Alex. If Kershaw fails tomorrow and the Dodgers lose, it's going to be over for us this year. Yeah, tomorrow is a pivotal game, too. It's not over if they lose tomorrow, but tomorrow is going to be a big day for the Dodgers. Dodgers Nation, we got this. Train Braves own the Dodgers. Look, I mean, last time we played the Braves in 2018, we won. 2013, we won. In 1959, with the Dodgers played the Milwaukee Braves, they would ultimately win the pennant and go on to win a World Series. So, yes, they had us in 1996 when they had Glavine, Smoltz, and Maddox. But no, the Dodgers aren't owned by the Braves. Look, the Braves haven't won a postseason series heading into this postseason since like 2001. So Freddie Forte from Michelle Carter. We got Danny. All the people trashing the fans in here, not true fans, all bandwagon. Sanjay, business of overreacting with Roberts. One can never overreact. Have to have a cushion. Yeah, I mean, if you've been watching this show, my mantra has been we have to rake our way to a ring, and that is how the Dodgers are going to win a World Series. It's not going to be what the bullpen does. It's not going to be what the pitching staff does because, look, they're not going to – tonight they had a meltdown. 4 runs there in that nightmarish 9th inning. But the Dodger bats, if you're scoring 1 run a game, hey, there's not really that much to be upset about. You weren't a World Series contending team in the first place, but I think today was more of an aberration. I think the Dodgers – they were committed to executing their approach, which is grinding out at bats, grinding out pitchers, getting walks, getting that pitch count up. But unfortunately, when you don't execute that, and then Fried had a couple of short innings there after that 28-pitch first inning. If that doesn't come to fruition and you face this deep Atlanta Braves bullpen, it's going to be tough to muster some runs and manufacture some cushions like you talk about. But I think that collectively this Dodger offense, they need to wake up the bats, and they can't put all the onus on this pitching staff to keep this Look, they were escaping in the 6th. They escaped in the 7th, the 8th. I mean, it was only a matter of time until they were going to have a breakdown, an inning where you were going to have a meltdown. You saw it there in that 9th inning. The Dodgers 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. They stranded 5 runners tonight. If you look at the Atlanta Braves, they were 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position tonight, and they stranded 10. They were getting runners on. They had some success there late in the game in that 9th inning, and unfortunately, the Dodger bats, they just did not step up to the plate tonight. But here we go. Braves showing y'all how it's done. We got Jose Rod, way too many mistakes from the offense. Robert Suggs from Flauhauer, Greg Wilson. I think this is the best game the Braves will play this series. Greg Wilson, Greg Pierce, just a rough game. Too early to throw in the towel. It was absolutely, Greg, way too early to throw in the towel. I still like the Dodgers in this series. It's just one game in a 7-game series. Like I was saying, it was all about getting past the 3-game and that 5-game series. But I think this Dodger team, one of the things you have to look at, one of the glaring weaknesses of this Dodger team is the uncertainty with the back end of that bullpen. Because, look, Blake Treinen, he has been – I've seen this come with Blake Treinen. Whether it be hit by pitches like we saw the other night and having to get bailed out, Blake Treinen is not an ideal lockdown 8th-inning pitcher. You saw what happened last year when he struggled. There was a reason why he was on the market after having one of the best years in 2018. And then Kenley Jansen has pretty much fallen off a cliff at this point in his career. So it's going to be how the Dodgers, one, how they're going to be able to get a cushion, a 2-3 run lead, and who's going to close things out for this Dodger team. Because, Dave Roberts said he wanted 6 innings from Walker Buehler tonight, but Walker Buehler, it's the walks for Walker that are his demise, and 5 walks for Butane tonight. That's not going to get it done. 7 strikeouts to 5 walks, and he gave up that home run there to Freddie Freeman in the first inning. And look, I mean, if you look at that, Walker Buehler, 5 innings pitched, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts, 16 for 23 on first pitch strikes. And then the first inning, Freeman went deep on him, 111.6 miles per hour off the bat. And look, I mean, they're one of the best fastball hitting teams in baseball, and he missed his spot right there. And look, it was right there, middle, right up in Freeman's fun zone, and he blasted it. And he had given up 7 home runs this year, 2 of them in that first inning. So if you're going to tee off on Buehler, that's the inning to do it. So, unfortunately, didn't have his best night, but still only gives up 1 run. And the run support from this Dodger offense was not where it needed to be. And it starts at the top with Mookie Betts. He's the catalyst at the top of the order. And Mookie Betts has to find a way to get on base and manufacture some runs. And look, we always talk about Kike Hernandez this, Kike Hernandez that. Without Kike Hernandez tonight, it would have been 5-0 Braves, and the Dodgers would have threw up a donut tonight. So, hey, I think that if you want to look at anyone, it's the Dodger bats that were cold tonight. But here we go. We got Juan Robles. Up until then, Treinen and McGee came up. The Flacco, exactly. I don't overreact, guys. We will be fine. Go Dodgers. We got Tony, stop. Buehler was fine. We sucked in our bullpen. We got a hit. Hate it's on Kershaw tomorrow. No confidence in my man. Let's just hit. I mean, look, if Brusdar didn't come out, if Brusdar Gratterall didn't come out and pull a rabbit out of a hat, those 2 runs could have been a Walker Buehler, and we could be talking about a 3-run, him giving up 3 runs tonight with 7 strikeouts and 5 walks. And yes, he has the uncanny ability to get out of innings, but at some point that's going to rear its ugly head, and he's going to get rocked in an inning or 2. And but thankfully up tonight, he only gives up 1 run. But if you look at tonight, it kind of set the Dodgers back because they wanted 6 out of Walker Buehler. Gratterall has to come in earlier than expected. Dustin May, they wanted 2 out of Dustin May. And then Blake Treinen, he has the meltdown, then Jake McGee right there. So, look, that's the big question mark. Who's going to get the final 3 to 6 outs for this team? And right now, I think the Dodgers have to hope to get more out of their starting pitching staff. Hopefully, Clayton Kershaw can give them 6-7 quality innings tomorrow, and the Dodgers can find a way to win Game 2, even the series, and then get back and ride that momentum into a Game 3 win. But here we go. Let me know down below in the comments, what do you think the key is right now for the Dodgers to come back? The Dodgers will have to come back and win this series to make it to their third World Series in the last 4 years. So let me know down below in the comments. Braves first game here, 3 home runs. Dodgers fourth game there, 2 home runs. Yeah, I mean, only 2 home runs for the Dodgers. Cody Bellinger's in the 4th of Game 2, and then Kike Hernandez tonight in the 5th. So the Dodgers, 118 home runs on the year, averaging close to 2 home runs per game. That power, that slugging has not been there for this Dodgers offense, even in the Padres series. So the Dodgers in that series, able to average over 6 runs per game. But look, they were slugging .384 in the series, a .753 OPS. It just hasn't been there. And here we go. It takes a team, baby, from Gio. We got Brian. Man, I hope we get Bauer next season. Using Esmeralda, Lugo, using Gradall for 1 season makes no sense more than to the Dodgers. We got Robert Rocha. I think the Dodgers, one second. We lost from Armando. Nasa, when the game is tied, I was okay, and then at the end, it went off the rails. Exactly, Nasa, over on Facebook. The game, look, if they get one right there, if they get, you get the home run from Riley there in the 9th inning, I have confidence in this Dodger team to find a way to score a run. But when you open it up and you give up 4 runs in that inning late in the game, this Dodger team, as clutch as they are, look, the Dodgers this year, one of the things too, yes, 43-17, best record in Major League Baseball, but heading into tonight, I mean, over the course of the season, they're just 8-8 in 1-run games. So 8-8 in 1-run close games. So the Dodgers, their recipe for success is mashing, scoring runs, and then giving this Dodger bullpen a cushion to work with. And unfortunately, they didn't have that tonight, and Blake Treinen does not come through. Blake Treinen on the night, he ends up going a third of an inning, 3 earned runs, gives up 3 hits, and then Jake McGee goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up the home run right there late. So, unfortunately, it just doesn't happen right there. The Albies gets the home run, and then Riley gets the home run there. And the Dodger offense, like I said, on the night, 4 for 31. 4 for 31 for this Dodgers offense, 11 strikeouts. And it just, it just wasn't happening. If you look at the strikeout numbers for the Dodgers, Mookie Betts had a strikeout. Corey Seager struck out twice. Turner struck out. 2 strikeouts for Muncy, 2 for Will Smith, 1 for Cody, 1 for Kike, and 1 for Chris Taylor. So everyone except A.J. Pollock struck out tonight for this Dodgers offense. And this is a team that in the postseason is averaging 7.8 strikeouts per game. And unfortunately, that's just not going to get it done against this Braves pitching staff that is hot at the right time. So luckily for the Dodger team, it's not like the Nationals last year where you're running into a buzzsaw of a pitching staff with only 5 games. We're talking 7 games. So to me, my faith is going to rely on the Dodgers' depth in this series and the ability for these Dodger bats to wake up and start scoring some runs. Because if they don't, this could be a short series the way that this Atlanta pitching staff is pitching in this postseason. But here we go. Dodgers can still win this. Greg Pierce, get more hits. Next man in the lineup, just like last game. Exactly. Same team. The difference tonight, though, is yes, the approach was there with the strike zone awareness, but you did see some strikeouts with pitches outside the zone. Max Muncy swinging at ball 4 strikes out there. I mean, there's a couple instances tonight where the Dodgers were swinging at pitches outside the zone, and I think they were pressing a little bit because they wanted to get through Fried. They know the reputation of this Braves bullpen, and I think they were pressing a little bit in tonight. And look, they're striking out on the slider, striking out on the fastball, striking out on the curveball. Really, we're having issues with all types of pitches tonight. But the Dodgers are going to be fine. I'm telling you right here, right now. As upset as you are, as upset as I am, I'm confident that tomorrow Clayton Kershaw, who's pitched well, gave up 3 runs against the Padres, but I think that he's due to have a signature start. I like the way he's pitching, and I think tomorrow Clayton Kershaw has a quality start against his Braves team, and the Dodgers, they'll find a way to even it up. But here we go. Let's jump back into this comment section, guys. If I have not gotten to your comment, be sure to keep going with it. I'm going to circle back. If you're on Twitter, be sure to retweet and share the show so your friends can get on the action and we can all get through this together. The sky is not falling. I'll just hold it up for you guys. The sky is not falling down there in Texas. But the Dodgers, a much-needed wake-up call. They got punched in the mouth. They will respond. I'm telling you, the Dodgers are taking this series. But here we go. Boys, it ain't looking like it's going to be this year from Brian Alex. We got Michael Lugo. Why put in McGee? He hasn't pitched at all in the postseason. Look, you've seen some arms that haven't gotten opportunities to pitch in this postseason. I think Jake McGee comes in there. They like the matchup. He comes in there against Albies with the fastball. But unfortunately, unfortunately, he didn't have it. He didn't have it, and it wasn't even the worst pitch for Jake McGee. He just tattooed it right there into left field. But yeah, I mean, Jake McGee in that spot right there, I think that I'm fine with it. I really am, especially when you consider the situation with having Blake Treinen already getting rocked in that inning. I think that it was fine for him to be in there in that spot. I think the real issue tonight is, one, I think that I would take a real long, hard look because Victor Gonzalez, we've seen Victor Gonzalez this year. He's really fantastic when it comes to giving you multiple innings of relief. He can give you extended relief out of that bullpen. I trust Victor Gonzalez. I know he's very young, but he has that postseason moxie, and you saw it there. You saw it right there from Victor Gonzalez. And, yeah, he comes in there in relief of May, and he gets the strikeout. So I think if you're the Dodgers in tonight's game, it comes down to the fact that you didn't score runs, Fried pitched better than Buehler, and then you had that meltdown there with Blake Treinen. And I'm hoping that this is not a sign of things to come for Blake Treinen. Hopefully he's not going to revert to 2019 Blake Treinen because we need him to get some big outs for this team because we already see what we have with Kenley Jansen this postseason. We can ill afford to have another one of our big bullpen contributors falter like this, and it was just a bad night for Blake Treinen there, and the Dodgers, they take the L in Game 1. But here we go. Hitters need to with runners in scoring position, stop striking out from Neil K. We got seen it for 32 years from Curtis. Kurt, after the first two batters killed the ball in the top of the ninth, did everybody know to pull him? Rafael Martinez, the Braves is a fastball hitting team. Exactly. You have to mix in the rhythm and not throw from Rafael Martinez. The Braves is a fastball hitting team. You have to mix in the rhythm and not throw at all the fastball pitcher. I can't read a comment. Not throw all the fastball pitchers to a fastball hitting team. But oh well, Dave Roberts is learning once again. Yeah, I mean, in that situation there. Look, the fastball is the best pitch in baseball when you can locate it and you're not missing. And unfortunately, the Braves were taking advantage of mistakes tonight. The Dodgers, not so much. The Dodgers, they had opportunities there and they were missing pitches all night long. And the Braves were for the most part, but they took advantage there in that ninth inning. It only takes one inning to blow things up, and they did just that. The levee broke there in that ninth inning for the Dodgers, unfortunately. But here we go. We got Marquez. What's your opinion on Dave Roberts? I think for the most part, look, Dave Roberts has had sustained success as the Dodgers manager. I think if you look, it's easy to drag Dave Roberts to the coals when the Dodgers lose. But, hey, look, Kike Hernandez starting tonight, provided elite defense. He hit that home run. And I think some of his moves tonight, only thing I would have done differently if I was Dave Roberts is I think I would have brought out Jake McGee I would have brought out Victor Gonzalez for another inning there. He just gets the strikeout there in the eighth, and he relieves he gets a strikeout there, and I kind of would like to see him there maybe. But they've been going with a Blake Treinen right there. I mean, Victor Gonzalez. Some of these younger guys, once they sit, they're not leaving him in the game. But Victor Gonzalez is a guy. He throws 4 pitches, 4 for strikes. He just looked really sharp there. He was inducing soft contact, and this is a team that feasts off fastball. So Victor Gonzalez, he's the guy that's going to come in there, and he's got that pitch mix that I would have considered for the ninth inning there. I know hindsight, call them the hindsight hyenas, right? It's easy to come back and criticize after the move was made because Blake Treinen really got some big outs there in the San Diego series. So it's tough right now, but Yeah, I think that moving forward, I think he's a guy that really has earned the right to pitch deeper and to give multiple innings because, look, I think that Victor Gonzalez, he's a guy that can come out there and he could have got it done in the ninth inning. But the way it was looking, you have to also consider the fact it was a tie game there. It was a tie game, and if you're the Dodgers, you don't want to bank on the fact you're necessarily going to score runs there. So what if Victor Gonzalez goes out there for the ninth? The Dodgers, they're in a game. Look, this is a team that played the Reds, and like that was a record-setting extra inning game, and I would like to see him out there. He's so effective with that slider and that sinker. I definitely would have liked to see Victor Gonzalez out there. Dave Roberts as a whole, I think the culture he brings, I think that he has everyone buying in to the Dodgers approach. But look, I mean, we'll see. To me, Dave Roberts knows, I know. If he doesn't win a World Series, he's going to be considered a failure as the Dodgers manager. Yes, those stakes are very high, but that's the reality of the situation. If he doesn't get it done this year, we'll see how this series unfolds. We'll see how the World Series unfolds if the Dodgers are lucky enough to make it. But look, I think right now I'm still okay with Dave Roberts. I'm not asking for him to be fired at this point. He does have the Dodgers in the NLCS, and they're just down one game. A game is a game. A loss is a loss, no matter how you lose it. I don't care if you lose by 20 runs. I don't care if you lose 5-1 in game one. A loss is a loss. And bottom line, this Dodgers offense did not show up tonight, and that's what it came down to. Fried was slicing and dicing, 9 strikeouts after having thrown 28 pitches in that first inning to rebound like he did. You got to give him a lot of credit. But this Dodgers offense, make no mistake, they do have to step up. But thanks, we got Curtis, Dodgers, the Buffalo Bills of baseball. We got Go Dodgers from Paul. Dodgers are done from Train. DJ Menez, 1 loss at the end of the World Series. Dodgers got nothing to show from Train. Bruce Davis, I'm sorry, but tell Dave Roberts, I'm sorry, but tell Dave Roberts is fine, done watching. Okay. So, all right, wait. Well, hey, Bruce, I have a feeling, Bruce, you'll be back tomorrow after tomorrow's win. Jonathan, I need the Dodger dog and a beer. Yes, John, that'd be nice right about now. I agree for Marco. We got, I think, keep Gonzo in for longer. Yeah, the way the situation was, you had a 1-1 tie, and this is a fastball hitting team, 95 miles per hour better. This team hits fastballs as good as any team out there. I think they're 1 or 2 in Major League Baseball this year, and the way that Gonzalez was dealing there, I think you just keep him in there. I mean, 4 innings. We saw just Brusdar Graterol, just 6 innings there. I mean, 6 pitches there. And I know these guys are young, and I know you want to try to keep these arms fresh. But look, this is a 60-game shortened season, and these guys, how many opportunities are you going to have to win a World Series? So, unfortunately for the Dodgers, they lose tonight by a score of 5-1. Game 1 of the NLCS. But tomorrow, 3 o'clock. What I love about tomorrow is 3 o'clock. The Dodgers will already be playing and will already have an opportunity to come back and even this series and tie things up at 1. But here we go, 6-0 in the playoffs from Chipper 803. We got some Braves fans in the house. Yeah, give the Braves credit. The Braves took advantage of opportunities. They struck there in the first. They strike first blow with that Freddie Freeman home run. He hits that Walker Buehler mistake. And then Max Fried, hey, man, local product from Santa Monica, the home of Dodgers Nation headquarters too. And he has a game, and he battled all night long. And so you got to give him tons of credit right there. But, yeah, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Here we go. We got they will never let him go from the 51-50 Rams. We got Juan Robles. Robert seems to do a good job during the regular season, but postseason comes around and he loses it. I mean, look, last year, of course we know the mistakes last year. We've talked about it ad nauseum, till the cows come home, whatever you want to say. And tonight, look, if Walker Buehler comes out there for the 6th to face the meat of the Braves lineup and he gives up 2 singles, if Victor Gonzalez if Brusdar doesn't pull a rabbit out of the hat and get the Dodgers out of that one, you're probably going to criticize that move. And then going with Treinen, I think that Treinen deserved to face another hitter there. But, yeah, unfortunately, Dodgers don't get it done. And Dodgers in 6 from Slugfest. Braves go deep. We got he makes peanuts. Ownership loves him. 51-50. Yeah, I mean, look at his contract. I think he gets like a couple million. Andrew Friedman gets about $7 million. So just take that, make that what you want. But Doug, Dave have been here how many years he can't win? Yeah, I mean, look, He's got a stacked roster. The Dodgers are loaded. Make no mistake about it. And hey, if the Dodgers get swept in this series, if the Dodgers have a down year next year, fine. But look, the bottom line, the reality of the Dave Roberts situation is, I think, what is his record in the postseason? 30-22. I mean, he's got a win percentage in the regular season of over 600. He's got division titles every year. He's been the Dodgers manager. He's been to 2 World Series, been to an NLCS and an NLDS. The bottom line is he's on a Hall of Fame trajectory. He just needs to win a World Series. And ask yourself this question. If he wins in 2017, if Dave Roberts is the first Dodger to win a World Series since Tommy Lasorda, the first Dodger manager to get it done since Tommy Lasorda, then, hey, how long do you give him a leash for as far as keeping his job? Because I think that if he wins in 2017 and the Astros don't cheat, I think that you guys are saying, hey, we'll always have 2017, right? But, hey, that's just kind of how the chips fell for Dave Roberts. But, hey, guys, trust me, this is just one game in a 7-game series. The Dodgers are going to be fine. The Dodgers are going to advance, and they're going to they're going to be in Texas for another couple weeks. You can mark my words here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I know it says 70% of the time the team that wins Game 1 of the NLCS goes on to win the series. It won't be the case this time around. This Dodger team is resilient. I see them bouncing back strong tomorrow. I think Clayton Kershaw on a national stage, I think he's going to hit his spots, work that slider. Look, he's going to throw that slider about 40 to 45% of the time. I think that you're going to see him have a good, have a strong outing. I think this Dodger offense is going to have a much better day at the plate because, hey, you can only play better than the Dodgers offense did today. But here we go. Braves are deep. Braves managers, Dodgers ownership spent $350 million. Who wins the series? Like I told you, I still have the Dodgers. Give me your series predictions right now. Let me know down below in the comments. Leo ZZ Top, Dodgers in 7. This will be a great series. Braves in 1 from Train. We got Brian warming up the couch for us. We are toast, guys. Facebook, Brian over on Facebook. We got Braves dominate the Dodgers. Dodgers in 6 from Marco on YouTube. We got Danny People. It's not Roberts, it's upper management. I think that that's a conversation we'll have on another day, whether or not you think that he's a puppet for the front office. I think that Dave Roberts does have free reign to make moves. I think there's a collaborative effort there between the front office and Dave Roberts, but ultimately I think that he gets final say on the decision, but I also think that the matchups are done in advance. I think that certain lineups are done in advance, but one thing you can't account for is how long the starting pitcher is going to go for and how long the relievers are going to go for when they enter the game, and you saw some short stints. Dustin May pitches an inning and a third, has to be relieved by Victor Gonzalez, and then you saw Brusdar Graterol bail out Walker Buehler today in the 6th inning, and then Blake Treinen, it was a train wreck from Treinen today. Just don't kid yourself. He did not deliver, and that's what it comes down to. Here we go. Jonathan Morin, what's your prediction, Doug? Right now, look, I had the Dodgers in 5 because the way the offense was playing against the San Diego Padres, I was really confident in this team. I thought Walker Buehler, I think one of the variables we don't know truly how that blister is affecting him, because if that blister was not affecting him and he had more command tonight of his pitches, I think he easily goes 7. I think if he goes 7, I think we probably still see Blake Treinen tonight, no matter how long Walker Buehler pitched. But I do think that kind of put the Dodgers behind the 8 ball, and they were able to survive for so many innings. Like I said, the Dodgers were playing with fire all night long, and eventually they got burned. They held the Braves to 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. But on the flip side, Dodgers only had 2 runners in scoring position all night long. Not very many opportunities to score runs, and unfortunately, that's what happens, and that's how you end up losing 5-1 in Game 1. But right now, I still like this Dodger team. I think that we still haven't seen Gonsolin yet. Julio Urias is we have our own fair share of hot pitchers. I think Gonsolin, I think Urias, I think Clayton Kershaw pitches well tomorrow. I think the Dodgers win in 6. I think right now I have the Dodgers in 6. I think they come out focused and ready to play tomorrow. I think Mookie Betts does a better job at the top of the order, setting the tone for this Dodger offense. When Mookie gets on base, when he walks, I think this Dodger team, that's when they're at their best. Unfortunately, an off night for Mookie Betts. He ends up going 0 for 4 with a strikeout. So I think tomorrow a much better showing for the Dodgers and Mookie Betts. But Braves in 7 from All Saint. We got Go Braves Sweet from Young Song. We got Dodgers in 7 from Danny over on Facebook. Brian, Alec, Doug, how many games you think the series will go? I got the Dodgers in 6 right now. Wouldn't be surprised to see it go 7. Wouldn't be surprised to see it go 5. I just think that today I look at this as an aberration for this Dodgers offense, for how well they've been playing. I think that Corey Seager, Mookie Betts, I think you're going to see a much better showing from this Dodgers offense. And look, if they can get everyone going, Kike Hernandez was providing some power against that lefty. And you see how the Dodgers have hit a lefty this year. That's one thing that was concerning me. So the Dodgers, through the end of August, they were hitting 223 against lefties, but by the end of September, 24 games, they were hitting 293 against lefties. So 293 against lefties, slugging .582, and one of the top teams for mashing against lefties in Major League Baseball in the last month of the season. So I didn't think that was going to be an issue. But like I said, they looked like they had Fried fried early with 28 pitches. I thought he was on the ropes, but he ends up getting 9 strikeouts against his Dodgers team. He was landing his curveball, was getting strikeouts with his slider, locating that fastball, and you just got to tip your cap. He had a much better night. The difference between Fried and Buehler tonight, the big difference was Fried. If you look at his night, he just had much better command, and he ends up with 2 walks, so 9 strikeouts with 2 walks, 96 pitches, 64 for strikes, 1 earned run. That mistake right there, that hanging curveball to Kike Hernandez. So he punished that one, but here we go. Bruce Davis, Doug, you're not seeing me after tonight. Dave Roberts is a problem. Bruce, please come back. Don't give up on this team quite yet. I'm telling you, this Dodger team is a team that they're a resilient bunch. They're a team that is in Texas to take care of business. And I think tomorrow, look, like I'm really I didn't love the fact that it was a 3:00 game, considering it's the Los Angeles Dodgers and the NLCS. But coming off a loss, I'm like, hey, let's not even go home. Let's stay at this ballpark. Let's get things going. Let's even the series before we can even blink. And hey, before you know it, you're gonna wake up tomorrow and it'll be time for Game 2. So I think this Dodger team comes back, and I think that look, like I said, you have a team that hasn't lost since September 23rd. They haven't lost since September 23rd, and tonight they played the best team they played all season tonight. I will tell you that. The Dodgers played the best team they played all season, and you saw that tonight. The Dodgers, unfortunately, can't get past the Braves. But here we go, about the Braves. We got Where the F Are the Bats from YouTube, Dial Boy 247. You think they should bring back Jansen, Edgar, Cortez? I think right now, look, when it comes to Jansen, they're going to need him at some point. But look, I've been kind of beating this drum for basically as long as for years now. Is you play the matchups, and Kenley Jansen, if there's a spot where he can be effective, you got to throw him out there. Unfortunately, they're kind of hitched to his wagon to a certain extent, but a guy I want to see step up is Pedro Baez. I think P.D. Baez, he's got the velo, he's got the stuff to be more effective than Kenley Jansen, because Kenley Jansen is just missing his spots left and right. The velo, the action's not there on the cutter, and right now I don't feel confident with him on the mound. I definitely want to see guys with better stuff out there. And I think that, look, we've seen in seasons past, you don't have to just even go with bullpen guys. I wouldn't be surprised to see Walker Buehler out there, or Tony Gonsolin, or Julio Urias, or Clayton Kershaw. After what happened last year, I never want to see that again. I'll just be honest with you. But there's going to be situations where this Dodger team has to get creative, and that's really the only thing. Ryan, Doug, what do you think it is that Dave sees in Jansen? I think that, look, Kenley Jansen is a Dodger legend, right? Quote, unquote, 312 saves, but look, the knock on Kenley Jansen is that he's sputtered in the postseason. He gave up big home runs to Marvin Gonzalez, to Jackie Bradley Jr. There's certain situations where he's just not delivered. And right now, to me, it's like I said, Father of Time is undefeated. And that's the only thing with Kenley Jansen, is the fact that he just is not able to throw pitches like he did in the prime of his career. The cutter is not 94, 95. It doesn't have that same horizontal break that it had at his peak. And fortunately, that four-seamer, that sinker, that slider is just not good enough to get those final outs. But hey, look, maybe on a few days rest, if you can go out there and to me, it really starts with command. Before we get into velo with Kenley Jansen, is can you hit the spots. And unfortunately, if you look at his outings, go back and rewatch, he's missing his spots pretty significantly. And I think that if there's a mental component to it, but I think really just bottom line, there's only so many pitches. Like there's a lot of 6-out saves in Kenley Jansen's career. There were some 9-out saves in Kenley Jansen's career. And unfortunately, when it's gone, it's gone. That's just the reality. It's the harsh reality that you kind of have to accept with Kenley Jansen. But hey, they're going to need it. They're going to trust me. He will not be shelved for this entire postseason. They're going to have to look to him. But if you've been watching this show for this entire season, I've been saying the Dodgers have to rake their way to a ring. They have the bats to do it. Tonight was an aberration. They go into a hot pitcher and Fried, and fortunately don't get it done. But let me know down below in the comments, how do you guys feel about Kenley Jansen? Should he pitch again for the Dodgers in the postseason? Let me know. Here we go. Greg Pierce cracks me up. The Padres radio guy called Baez the human rain delay. He does take his time out there. He does take his time. He's pretty much Rob Manfred's nightmare out there on the mound. But Dodgers forgot to hit right there. Ryan, we got Doug, do you think whoever wins the series will win the World Series? That's from Jonathan over on Facebook. I think that, I still think the Dodgers are the prohibitive favorites in the National League, and whoever wins the National League, will they win the series? Look, if it's the Astros, I don't think the Astros have the pitching. There's something about that Rays team that I don't want to dismiss that Rays team quite yet. I kind of want to see how they fare in this series. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rays win. I think that if it's the Rays or Dodgers, it's I still have the advantage to the Dodgers, but I still think it's a coin flip. But that Rays team is special out there. And guess what? The Rays, what did they do? The Rays also lost Game 1. Well, how did they respond? They came out in Game 2, and they got it done. So, hey, it could be 2 long series, so that could help for both teams. Well, here we go. Explain Max Muncy's batting fourth from Brian Alex. We got, Max Muncy. Max Muncy, the postseason now, he's hitting 158, OPSing 595. I don't want to see him batting fourth. To answer your question, I don't want to see Max Muncy batting fourth in that spot. Look, he did make a nice play at first today. No, actually, he defensively stepped up in the last in the Padres series. But hey, we'll see how it goes with Max Muncy. I think that Max Muncy, if he's taking his walks, he did show some signs in that series. We saw some signs of life in that Padres series. Had a double, had a single, and on the year he had five. He's had 3 hits so far in the postseason. But I do think that we'll see how it plays out tomorrow. But look, Edwin Rios is back on this roster, and Edwin Rios is a guy that I think that you might have to take a real long look at. Even Matt Beatty, because look, Max Muncy is. He just struggled mightily all season long. He did not look good tonight. He was striking out at pitches outside of the zone. Particularly that he did get that walk there in the first inning. Right there, it was a solid at bat for Max Muncy, and he goes down swinging. Then the bottom of the third, that fastball away there. And then the bottom of the 6th, I think an at-bat that really left more to be desired there. Bottom of the 6th, he strikes out swing on a fastball outside of the zone. It was I think that pitch selection by the Dodgers bats collectively tonight was not where we've seen it in recent weeks and for the entirety of this season. So I think that they're going to look back and they'll look at the tape tonight, and there's going to be a lot of pitches that the Dodgers are going to want back, and ones that they chased outside of the zone. And it wasn't the Dodger offense that we've seen all postseason long. But here we go. It's up to Mookie. He's the spark plug. That's from Lynn over on YouTube. We got Dude was going to start crappie flopping. You didn't explain why Dude was batting fourth. Josh, we just talked about Max Muncy. I think that, Max Muncy as a lefty right there, if you wanted to see him down the lineup, and look, they got Justin Turner right there batting third. I'm very confident that those top 3 right there in the order. But look, Max Muncy, I think Cody Bellinger is giving you a much better, more competitive at bat. And if Cody Bellinger is firing all cylinders, he's no question the cleanup hitter. Because look, he's the guy that can hit for power. And Cody Bellinger tonight, he struggled tonight, but he has shown some signs of life. That home run right there, Cody Bellinger goes 0 for 4 with a strikeout tonight. But, hey, to me, I would actually roll Cody Bellinger again. I truly would. I think that he's been hitting the ball hard, and that hasn't been striking out as much. Cody Bellinger, after tonight in the postseason, hitting .261, OPSing .798. If you look at those strikeouts, 6 strikeouts to 2 walks, and Max Muncy, 8 strikeouts. So Max Muncy is leading the Dodger team with strikeouts in the postseason with 8 strikeouts. So I would definitely go with Cody Bellinger right there at the 4 spot. And look, I mean, Max Muncy, I'm hoping that he can turn things around. He had a really great NLDS last year. He had 3 home runs in the NLDS against the Washington Nationals. I think he hit like .263 or something. But if he's not slugging and he's striking out a lot, he can be a problem. But Max Muncy, 7 walks, though. He does lead the team in walks in the postseason. So he has found a way to get on base through the walk, and unfortunately he kind of had a bad night tonight, but we'll see if he can turn it around tomorrow. But Cody's smoking good stuff from Roy. Deborah Young, put my man AJ in the cleanup. Yeah, AJ Pollock, he's been consistent. AJ Pollock tonight, one of only 4 Dodger hits tonight. AJ Pollock goes 1 for 3 on the night, and he's a guy that I think he's okay in his spot in the order. Don't know if I would mix it up too much with A.J. Pollock in the postseason, hitting .278, OPSing .683, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. So remember last year in the NLDS, he had 13 strikeouts. So, no, I think it was 11 strikeouts. I think it was 11 strikeouts and 13 at-bats for A.J. Pollock. But I think that the lineup, wherever it's stacked up, I mean, tonight, look, they have that. It's almost like that second meat of the lineup there with A.J. Pollock, Kike Hernandez, Chris Taylor, and you turn over the order to Mookie Betts, Seager, and Turner. Right there in the middle of the pack right there, I'd probably flip-flop Bellinger and Muncy at this point. I think Will Smith right there in that 5 hole is fine, but you want to have some lefty-righty mix up the lefty-righties there. As you can see, you got Betts as a righty, then Seager as a lefty, Turner as a righty, then Muncy. I would be fine with seeing Cody Bellinger in that spot. I think it gives the Dodgers a better opportunity for hits right there, whether it be singles, doubles. You know, he can run out an infield single, and I think that he's earned it as far as what we've seen. But here we go. Muncy shouldn't be batting 4th. The Dodgers are too nice. They need to get tougher. I'm convinced the Dodgers are cursed from Luis. Teresa, it did feel like our lineup was off tonight. Brian, Cody always be Cody's fine, man. He's not smoky. He's not high. I mean, look, hey, Cody Bellinger's a guy who just hit a home run, and he was the hero of the NLDS. So he's up on Cody Love. I still don't understand why isn't Gratterall closing like 1, 2, 3 next inning. Yeah, I mean, look, the thing about Gratterall was that strikeout there. The strikeout with Gratterall was just a really big moment there. And look, he gets Markakis on that comebacker. Pesce, he strikes him out on 3 pitches, and I think the strikeout was on like a slider. I believe it was on a slider there. So as long as he's punching guys out, and look, there's no question about it. He's being molded to be the Dodgers closer, and I think that it's something that I want to consider too. I mean, they've used him in valuable spots. I mean, when he came in relief of Game 2 with the Cody Bellinger hit, that was in the 7th inning. And I think, look, if you want to flip-flop things around and save him for that closer's role, I would actually be totally fine with that. I think that at this point you're down 0-1 in a series. You don't want to push that panic button. You want to see how tomorrow goes. But, hey, if Brusdar doesn't come out there and Blake Trinan comes in, maybe they already build that lead before you get to the 9th. So, bottom line, he's a high-leverage guy, and that is how the Dodgers are using him, and I think that's how they intend to use him in that spot. They don't want to just lock him up to that 9th inning because, look, in the 9th inning, hopefully the Dodgers are going to get some comfortable wins here at some point, and you really want to use him in those high-leverage moments and help him put out some of those fires there towards the middle of games. But Santa Maria over there, Joseph Ortega, highly unlikely, but we need Kershaw. Braves are losing tomorrow from Joe. More pressure on ever for Kershaw tomorrow. Rory Calhoun, you said it best. A lot of pressure on Clayton Kershaw. There's no question about it. There's no question about it. A lot of pressure on Clayton Kershaw to go out there tomorrow and deliver. And he pitched very well. Look, 13 strikeouts against the Milwaukee Brewers, and then gives up three runs, a couple bombs, one to Hosmer, one to Machado there in Game 2. But look, 2018, if you remember 2018, Clayton Kershaw, he pitched very well. He pitched very well against the Braves. Against the Braves in the NLDS. He went 8 innings, gave up just 2 hits, 3 strikeouts, and I think that Clayton Kershaw has what it takes. And tomorrow, I think, I don't want to call it a legacy game for Clayton Kershaw, but I'm going to. I think tomorrow is a legacy start for Clayton Kershaw because, look, to me, Clayton Kershaw is a guy who's a lock for Cooperstown. He's a lock for the Hall of Fame, but tomorrow if he comes up and steps up big and he beats this Braves team who now looks like they're playing with house money, up 1-0. But remember, only thing that's going to change in games 3 and 4. By the way, how did you guys feel about seeing fans in the stands tonight? That threw me off a little bit. I'm so used to seeing the cardboard cutouts. I'm like, man, they got some really good cardboard cutouts there in Texas. They're moving and talking and eating and breathing. I mean, hey, I was thrown off. Then I remembered, of course, there was fans in the stands. But look, here we go. But look, I think that with Clayton Kershaw tomorrow, he's got to step up. He's got to go at least 5, 6 quality innings. And this Dodgers offense has to step up and score some runs. And if they're going to commit to that approach, you can't leave pitches there to hit because, look, there's some times when you can tell this Dodger team, yes, it's death by a million paper cuts, right? They want to have that patience at the plate, but there are some situations there where, look, there's pitches to hit, and I think the Dodgers need to be a little more aggressive at the plate. And, yes, you want to get the pitcher out of the game, but this bullpen is a quality bullpen, so you got to try to get to the starter first if you want to get to this bullpen. I want to see a more aggressive approach from this Dodger team when it comes to pitches to hit. I think they missed some tonight, but here we go. Fans are quiet. Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird too. Yeah, I think they pumped in the sound too. Train a 12-3 Braves win tomorrow is not happening. They're not the Dodgers and we're not the Padres, if you know what I mean. Teresa, I loved it when Turner threw the ball into the crowd. Been a long time since I saw that. That's a great point. It really did. It really has been a while since you saw anything like that at all. I mean, how do you guys feel about the Dodger turnout? Kind of want to look into it, how the Dodger turnout was tonight. But, bro, the mistake was to pull Gonzalez simple. Roberts had no reason to do that. Christian, Greg Pierce, I agree. Dave Roberts and Kershaw will choke. That's from Get a Heisman over there. We got Bruzdar, Betts below 200 when he faced left-handers. Betts not MVP from Bruce Davis. Look, Mookie Betts going to be fine. You just jinxed it. Good job, Doug. The reverse jinx, man. The reverse jinx is very powerful. Robert should have left May in, Cody Todd. Now, I think that, look, he was kind of pulling a little bit, Dustin May. And, yeah, Dustin May tonight, the walk hurt Dustin May. He had the walk, the 2 strikeouts, 24 pitches, 14 for strikes for Dustin May in his appearance tonight. And, yeah, unfortunately, the Dodgers, they don't get it done in Game 1. Lose by a score of 5-1. But like I said, it's just Game 1, and the Dodgers will come out tomorrow, a 3 o'clock start. You got Clayton Kershaw on the bump. Wow, we've already hit 58 minutes, guys. But a couple reminders, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation Dodgers Dugout podcast. If you want to listen tomorrow, you guys can see all your takes. You'll see them on tomorrow's episode. We're going to condense it. Go to wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Be sure to hit that subscribe button there. And then also be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/Dodgers Nation TV. Head over to Dodgers Nation, your home for all things Dodgers, rumors, analysis, news, press conferences, whatever it is. If it's Dodger related, you're going to find it over on DodgersNation.com. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. That's at DMAC_LA. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow right after the game, win or lose. I think the Dodgers will get it done. I think the boys in blue come back strong tomorrow. They rebound after losing Game 1 5-1. So be sure to join us right after the game. As always, let's squeeze in a couple last-minute comments here. But thanks again for rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Kershaw gets 5 Ks in the first inning. That's from Johnny. I like it. Brian, good show. Doug, be here tomorrow when we get this win. Hey, we're going to get this win. Trust me on that one. Need a 7-run game from Jose Rod Edgar. It's back-to-back games. Why are you going to burn through your bullpen, leaving them in? They just got their job done with 1 out there. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I think that if you want to point at something tonight, it's not keeping Victor Gonzalez out there. He was dealing. He knows how to induce that soft contact, work that sinker slider combination, and I would have liked to see it And like I said, I'm not feeling really good about Blake Treinen. If we're being 100% honest with each other, I'm not feeling great about Blake Treinen or Kenley. So this Dodger team, they go from sweeping the Padres, the best team in the National League, quote unquote, to this Braves team. It looks like they have their hands full against the Braves. But I'm telling you, Dodgers get it done. We got a couple more Teresa Haas over on Periscope. Dodgers in 5. We got Brian Alex, Braves choking tomorrow. What about Mr. Gonsolin? I think we'll definitely see him in Game 3. That's from Mr. Bubble Up. Dodgers need to be patient at the plate from CP. I think a combination of, yes, you want to be patient, but also if there's a pitch there for you to drive, you don't want to let the Braves pitching staff off the hook by not punishing mistakes. And I think there were opportunities tonight to get hits for this Dodger team. But thanks again, guys, as always, here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Got a big game tomorrow, Game 2, 3 o'clock. Clayton Kershaw on the bump for your boys in blue. But see you guys tomorrow. As always, nothing brings us together quite like Dodgers baseball. Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.